Hey, what's up, guys? Comment down below how you're doing today. Today, we are all here for Absolute Batman 17. And let me tell you, oh my God, this is such a good read. I really enjoyed this one. It might even be one of my favorites, but jumping in, we have the local artwork from Nick Dragotta. And as always, he kicks it out of the park with his titles. I mean, they're truly amazing. But jumping right in, we have Absolute Poison Ivy doing a little bit of a narration here. She goes, on my 10th birthday, my mother surprises me with a trip into Gotham City. And you got a beautiful picture of Poison Ivy with her mom. And, they're just hanging out, but they visit the Hart building, they go to the very top. And what happens is, her mom picks out a dandelion for Poison Ivy, or Doctor, I can't remember her name, that's so embarrassing. Anyway, she picks out a dandelion for her little girl, and basically they blow it away together, they make a wish from the heart. It's a little, beautiful mother and daughter moment, and it's sad because as you read on, you figure out what happens to her mom. But continuing on to the present, you have a security guard going, "Hello, whoever's up here, this is private property." Little does he know, there's like these weird plant-based things everywhere. And there's this like weird little creature, and he's like, "What the?" And Poison Ivy just comes over and it goes, "Welcome, officer, to my wish." And as he turns into the green. So going in a little further, I guess this is some time has passed now, but there's this whole building covered with green trees and everything, and Batman just drills right into it. And he's now in. I'm in talk. He's talking to Alfred because they're trying to find out what's going on. And GCPD intel indicates the air is highly contaminated with an unknown biological agent, which is why Batman wears his mask. And so they're talking about a ultrasonic cannon that is an extremely powerful military grade weapon that basically uses sound waves to basically defeat the plants in a very simple, in a jiffy. And anyway, Batman encounters these soldiers, these GCPD soldiers, and he tells Alfred that he has eyes on them. But Alfred's like, "That's not soldiers. I'm not getting any heat signatures or people up there." And what ends up happening is the soldier turns around and it's just this green plant-based monster. And as they start to attack Bruce, we go into a week ago where oh my God, guys, this is after he like gave Killer Croc or Waylon, he gave Waylon the pendant or the necklace. And I guess Waylon shed his like crocodile skin because he's gone. And I don't know what happened to Waylon, but Bruce is also confused because Waylon's not there anymore. And he still chooses to believe that Waylon's his friend and that hopefully one day he'll return. But my guess is he became like a more humanoid Killer Croc, but I could always be wrong. Going in a little further, Bruce goes to see Ozzy at the Iceberg Lounge, and Oz obviously has it out for Bruce. He doesn't want Bruce coming to see him at all, and he told his guards that if Bruce comes back, you could just basically punch him out, kick him out. And Bruce is like, "You tell Ozzy that I'll be back the next day, the day after that, and I'm gonna be back." And Oz slowly sees this as he's peeking out of the corner window. Alrighty, so next Batman goes to see Eddie, and Bruce comes up and he says a riddle and he tries to get Eddie to like interact with him, but Eddie's just dead silent behind his locked door. And in sadness, Bruce's friends just aren't interacting with him. And he goes to see Harvey, but Harvey ends up escaping out of the hospital. And, he's still like his head is literally split in two halves. The doctor says they're barely connected, but when the nurses came in this morning, he was just gone. He had totally disappeared from Bruce's life, and quite frankly, nobody knows where he went now. Which is really a bummer because, these are still Bruce's friends, even though they went through the trauma Bane put him through. But it's really unfortunate because Bruce is just he lost Waylon already. Now he's lost Ozzy, he's lost Harvey, and probably Eddie too. And what happens is he walks around. Oh my God, just the artwork on this shot. Like, look at Bruce, dude. He's so big among all the other people, but he's walking through Gotham and he sees like people selling Batman shirts and axes and stuff. And ever since Bane, he says like they love him. And but he doesn't know if this is the impact he wants to have on Gotham. He views himself as like a necessary sacrifice almost. And he doesn't know like what his bat may even resemble. He looks at the battle axe that some kid is holding up and he goes, I barely know what what the hell I'm looking at. And it just shows him that like, well, what do I resemble? What am I meant to be? Going back to the present, you have Absolute Batman fighting these monsters, and they're they're a blend of human and plant DNA. So they're not human, whatever they were. Like, so when they were human, they're not human anymore. Now they're like these weird plant-based creatures that are just like really good at fighting. And Batman loses his masks, and Alfred's like, "Kid, I just told you to keep your mask on." And Batman's like, "I know. Um, you need to know that I know." And so what happens? He puts it back on after he fights the rest of the creatures, and Alfred's like, "You need to abort the mission now." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna keep going." And he goes up on this like weird tree looking thing. Is like, this reminds me of something I saw in Arkham, referring back to when he saw like a creature and Bane squished its head. But he tells Pennyworth Alfred to look up a name, and Isley, Dr. Isley. That's her name. Fuck me. I should have known that. Anyway, so he oh my goodness, I'm so mad. I should have known that name. Anyway, so Dr. Isley is like studying all day, all night, often sleeping in her lab because she wants to focus on genetic cytological engineering. I cannot read today. And injecting human stem cells with plant DNA. She's trying to save her mom, basically. Her mom's sickness is back, and her brain is growing out of control, and her own body is making it too much for herself. So she wants to like make her better, basically. It's a good motivation. She's doing everything she does because of her mom, and she doesn't want this to happen to other people too. So she begins to like dive deeper into her research, and she wants to accomplish what no one's ever accomplished, higher than anything's that's possible. Anyone thinks is possible. Golly, I cannot read today, guys. I'm so sorry. Anyway, you got Bruce going. Okay, this is a really, really important scene. He goes into this prison to meet up with Chill. And for those of you that don't know, Chill is the person that murdered Bruce Wayne's dad, Thomas Wayne. So he goes to see Chill, and usually, I guess Chill comes out to talk to him, but the security guard says Chill is not coming out to talk and that he doesn't want to meet anymore ever. And Bruce is like, "You can't do that. Like, you killed my dad. Like, this is what we do. Like, we talk." And he wants to hear like I don't know if he wants to hear an apology or if he wants to get some form of resolution, but he doesn't get it. And what happens is we're back in the present now, and Alfred's like, "Kid, I'm detecting something on that floor, something human." And what ends up happening is Bruce just like fights these little dinosaur thingamabobbers, and as he goes on, he fights this huge, like multi-eyed looking bird thing. And as they fight, it's so crazy, dude. These monsters look insane. As they fight, Bruce chucks a grenade into the throat, blows it up. The explosion sends him back a little bit, and he realized Barbara Gordon is in there. So what he does, he saves her, and she's like, "Batman, where is the rest of the team?" And he's like, "Yeah, they're gone. You're cooked." And but thankfully, she still has the weapon. So what ends up happening is Bruce takes the weapon, and they discuss a little bit of like what to do. And Barbara's like, "Look, you and me, we're partners this time. Like, you can join me as my partner, but you and me this time, we're a team." Like, she wants to be a team, and Batman, he just pushes her off, bro, with a piece of his cape, which turns into a parachute. She's like, "You piece of," yeah, bro, that's crazy. Poor, poor Barbara, bro. It's gotta suck. But as Absolute Batman look down, he's just greeted by this face, like this freaking face, bro. Like, that is so scary. And he continues to go up, and you got Dr. Isley here again, and she's reflecting on how human cells were made with new DNA with the plant, and all this could like change life and stuff. And her sponsors want to divide up each discovery and separate everything, and basically anything her sponsors want to do for their own benefit. And she decides she'll take her research somewhere else tonight, and she's gonna save her mom, basically, is what what she wants to do. Later that night, or not, in the present, another night, we go on to see Jim Gordon and Martha Wayne. And Martha's worried about Bruce. He has seen him trying to like get his friends back, and he puts a brave face when he's around Martha. And Jim's like, he's a strong kid, Mar, stronger than either of us. And he really is strong. He loses all his friends, and he still feels called to be the Batman, which is just insane. Like, I couldn't imagine losing all your friends and going through that anyway. Um, and she's scared, and she doesn't want anything to change. And Jim's like, not everything's gonna change. And then they make out in the corner, but there's this other guy that's like, I guess, just creaking around, and Jim's like, "What is that?" And he goes to see, and he's like, "Shit." I don't know if he knows who this guy is or not, but it certainly brings some suspicion. And going back, like, Bruce is just thinking about everything going on, and he's thinking about like all these people he met, and the return of Jack Grimm, potentially the Joker, Dick Grayson, that EMP that was like that doesn't like Batman. And it's like the whole city has gone crazy all because of him. Like, this is gonna be interesting, like, to see Robin work with Absolute Batman. I am really curious to see how that works out. You even see Harley and the members of the Red Hood group, and they're like, we don't partner with people, Harley." And Harley's like, "Yeah, well, I say new year, new rules," and I kind of vibe with that. But Bruce is just like, did Batman do all this? Like, what's the resolution to all this? And as he continues going up, he's like, "Alfred, come in." And he made it to the top, and Poison Ivy's like, "Yes, yes, you did make it to the top. Isn't it beautiful?" And Batman's like, "Dr. Isley." And she's like, "I used to be a long time ago." And when she went back to complete her research, she was locked in, and we don't know what happens yet. But going back to the present, Absolute Batman's like wrapped up in all these green, and Poison Ivy takes the weapon from her, and he's like, "The weapon's gone, Alfred. There's no chance I'm going to be able to use it anymore." And she's like, "It's okay. Nothing here will hurt you. Nothing here is going to hurt you. Don't be afraid, Batman. I know how frightening change can be, but it's time to let go." And you know, going back into the past, Bruce sees like more absolute Batmans, or more Batman stands in his case, and he just lets out a flamethrower in the present, trying to burn Harvey. I'm so sorry, guys. Poison Ivy down. And going back into the past, this is really interesting because Bruce kicks over all the Batman stuff, and he is Batman. I guess he doesn't want to be resembled in like the people's hero, which really interests me, because as a individual who puts on the mask and tries to save everyone, he doesn't welcome the people celebrating him, which confuses me almost. But comment down below what you guys think, because I'm really curious to see if I'm the only one who views it this way. Anyway, he unleashes his flamethrower, and what happens is, in the past too, the fires everywhere. They locked Dr. Isley into the green contamination room or whatever, and they were gonna burn it all on. But what happens is she became one with the green, I guess, one with the force, you could call it. And what happens is, um Alfred. Yeah, Alfred is like, Bruce is trying to get a hold of Alfred, and he's like, "Is she down?" And she isn't. What happens is Poison Ivy, Dr. Isley became one with the green, and now she has like total control over like everything basically. And Alfred's like, I'm seeing something big there. It's part human, part plant, but it's more than that. It's part everything. See, she has control over like basically everything that's green, at least. And all I see is more of her, hence, once again. And then, like, you got all these, like, parts of her saying, "Let go, let go." Like, you got all these humanoid figures of her, and then all of a sudden, he turns around and he sees the actual absolute Poison Ivy. And, bro, she looks like a freaking menace. Like, that is absolutely horrifying. And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Shh, welcome, Batman, to your wish." And dude, like, and then at the very end, like, this is crazy. Martha goes in and She's like, "I didn't know if you'd answer, especially after all this time. It's me, I wasn't followed. Are you still there?" And they're like, "We're always here, Martha. We knew one day you'd come back to the Court of Owls." The Court of fucking Owls. Oh my god, guys. This is insane. Like, just how they're tying in everything. Like, who are the Court of Owls? Are they good guys, bad guys? Like, because we remember Martha, Thomas, and, Father Landry were all protesters. Could they be potentially, like, protesters? Like, the Court of Owls is protesters, maybe? Like, that go under cover and do the deep and dark shit? Or I don't know, I'm just brainstorming here, but it would be so freaking cool if, like, I wonder if Bruce is gonna end up fighting his mom potentially and killing her. That would be a crazy thing Scott Snyder would do if she's a part of the Court of Owls. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a immense pleasure. Please like and subscribe. I will see you all next time.